Welcome to A Global Nastian. I am your host, Dan Mason. Today, let us talk about the Shadow Wars, the hidden battles of American power, George Washington to Donald Trump. For over 2 centuries, the United States has engaged in numerous shadow wars, covert operations, proxy conflicts, regime changes, and intelligence maneuvers, often orchestrated by a small, secretive elite with deep ties to organizations like Skull and Bones, Freemasonry, and the intelligence community. From the days of George Washington to the presidency of Donald Trump, these hidden battles have shaped global geopolitics, securing American dominance while enriching those who orchestrated them. This article will explore these shadow wars through the connections between intelligence agencies, secret societies, and the corridors of power, focusing on key figures like George H.W. Bush, the CIA's role in Panama and Iran, and the financial, political, and sexual corruption that has fueled these covert conflicts. 1. The foundation of American shadow wars, 1776-1945. Freemasons, secret societies, and early espionage. From the very birth of the United States, Freemasonry and secret societies played a role in shaping leadership. Many founding fathers, including George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and Thomas Jefferson, were Freemasons, a group known for its oaths of secrecy and mutual aid. The Freemasons acted as a network for intelligence gathering, as seen during the Revolutionary War when Washington relied on the Culper Ring, a covert spy network against British forces. Freemason influence in early U.S. government. George Washington, the first president, Master Mason. James Monroe, 5th president, Master Mason. Andrew Jackson, 7th president, Grand Master of Tennessee Freemasons. James Buchanan, 15th president, Grand Master of Pennsylvania Freemasons. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 32nd president, Master Mason, member of the Shriners, Masonic branch. This influence extended into intelligence operations, with espionage becoming a necessity of statecraft. The Office of Strategic Services, OSS, the predecessor of the CIA, was formed during World War II, laying the foundation for the modern shadow wars. I-2. The rise of the CIA and the shadow government, 1947-present. The birth of the CIA and the national security state. After World War II, the U.S. government passed the National Security Act of 1947, creating the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. The CIA's role quickly expanded beyond intelligence gathering to include coups, assassinations, and clandestine warfare. CIA secret wars and regime changes. 1. Iran, 1953. Operation Ajax. The CIA overthrew Mohammad Mossadegh and reinstated the Shah of Iran to secure oil interests. 2. Guatemala, 1954. Operation PB success. The CIA removed Jacobo Arbenz, replacing him with a U.S.-backed dictator. 3. Vietnam, 1950s-1975. Covert involvement before open military engagement. 4. Chile, 1973. Operation Condor. The CIA helped overthrow Salvador Allende, leading to Pinochet's dictatorship. 5. Afghanistan, 1980s. Operation Cyclone. The CIA armed and funded Osama bin Laden and the Mujahideen against the Soviets. 6. Panama, 1989. Operation Cause. George H.W. Bush's invasion of Panama to remove CIA asset Manuel Noriega. George H.W. Bush and the Skull and Bones Network. George H.W. Bush, the 41st president and former CIA director, had deep Skull and Bones ties and was instrumental in many U.S. shadow wars. George H.W. Bush's CIA connections. Joined Skull and Bones at Yale, class of 1948. Served as CIA director 1976-1977 under Gerald Ford. Oversaw CIA's involvement in Panama and Latin America. Vice President, 1981-1989, under Ronald Reagan, handling covert CIA operations, including the Iran-Contra affair. The CIA and Panama, Noriega's rise and fall. Manuel Noriega, once a CIA asset, helped the U.S. in covert wars in Latin America, but later became inconvenient. When Noriega defied Bush Sr.'s administration, Operation Just Cause, 1989, saw U.S. troops invade Panama and remove Noriega, a prime example of how allies become enemies once they are no longer helpful. The Skull and Bones presidents, vice presidents, and congressmen. Skull and Bones is one of the most secretive societies founded in 1832 at Yale University. It has produced many U.S. presidents, secretaries of state, and intelligence operatives, Skull and Bones members in high office: William Howard Taft, 27th President; George H.W. Bush, 41st President; George W. Bush, 43rd President; John Kerry, former Secretary of State and Senator; Averell Harriman, Ambassador and Intelligence Officer; Henry Stimson, Secretary of War under FDR. These members shaped foreign policy, intelligence, and corporate power, often operating behind the scenes. 3. The Fall of the Shah and the Rise of the Ayatollah, 1979. One of the greatest betrayals in U.S. shadow wars was the removal of the Shah of Iran, whom the U.S. previously installed in 1953 through Operation Ajax. The Carter administration, pressured by globalists and oil interests, withdrew support for the Shah, paving the way for Ayatollah Khomeini. The Shah's removal led to the 1979 Iranian Revolution and the U.S. Embassy hostage crisis. 4. The financial, political, and sexual exploits of shadow wars. Money, the black budgets, and drug trade. The CIA has funded many of its black ops through illegal drug trade. Iran-Contra affair, 1980s. The CIA sold arms to Iran and used profits to fund Nicaraguan rebels, Contras. The Golden Triangle, Vietnam War. The CIA was deeply involved in opium smuggling in Southeast Asia. Afghanistan, 2001-present. U.S. military and intelligence operations coincided with a surge in Afghan heroin production. Politics, secret societies, and globalist agendas. Many politicians in power operate through exclusive societies. Bohemian Grove, a secretive retreat attended by top U.S. politicians, military officials, and corporate executives. Bilderberg Group, a meeting of global elites influencing world policy. Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, a think tank shaping U.S. foreign policy. Sex, blackmail, Epstein, and the elite's exploits. Sexual scandals are often used for blackmailing influential figures. Jeffrey Epstein's network included politicians, business people, and intelligence operatives. D.C. and Hollywood pedophile rings have been linked to global intelligence networks. 5. Donald Trump, the 47th president, and the end of shadow wars. Donald Trump's presidency challenged the deep state and intelligence establishment, defeated Hillary Clinton, a deep state asset, withdrew from Afghanistan, exposing the CIA's drug trade, blocked globalist treaties like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP, faced relentless opposition from the intelligence community, Russiagate, impeachments, etc. Trump's return to the presidency in 2025 marks a potential end to traditional shadow wars, though new battles will arise between globalists and nationalist forces. Conclusion: the unseen wars continue. Shadow wars have shaped U.S. history from George Washington to Donald Trump, fueled by money, power, and deception. The influence of Skull and Bones, Freemasons, and intelligence agencies runs deep, showing how wars are not always fought on the battlefield, but in the shadows. The question remains: will the American people ever reclaim their government from these hidden hands? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to learn more.